Good morning, my name is Heather and I graduated from Wheaton in 2002. I decided to major in Spanish but took my first German class in the fall of my sophomore year as an elective. I enjoyed it so much that I continued and with a bit of work made it into my minor. The summer after graduating from Wheaton, I got on a plane with a one-way ticket to Munich, planning to spend a year there working as an intern in the youth program of the YMCA Munich, and I've been in Germany ever since. What started as an elective became my life. I did my internship as a youth leader, working mostly with teenage girls, and along the way was quickly integrated into the vibrant community of Christians of all ages that make up the YMCA Munich. Not having anything in the US I needed to go back to right away, I decided to stay longer than the planned year. And that's when a certain medical student friend of mine started sending notes and flowers and invitations, and you can guess what happened. Now Matthias and I have been married for 9 years and have 4 small children. There they are. Living in Germany, speaking pretty much only German all the time, has changed me. When I first came to Germany, even though I already had a pretty good command of the language, I felt bound as if my right hand were tied behind me and I had to do everything with my left hand. I couldn't be myself. I'd always been proud of my ability to express myself, to make jokes, to practice verbal sparring. And here I was, slow and uncertain. I often thought of that scene from The Princess Bride where Wesley asks Inigo Montoya, "Why are you smiling?" And Inigo says, "Because I know something you don't know. I am not left-handed." And then he tosses his sword to his right hand and keeps fighting. But unfortunately for me in those situations, I just had to smile and feel stupid. That has changed, and I usually feel myself in German, more or less ambidextrous, you could say. And I've gotten used to people not even realizing that I'm not German. And sometimes when I'm in the US, people hear that I'm from Germany, and I get compliments like, "Wow, you speak English really well." I would say that life in Germany isn't all that different from life in the US. Moving to Germany isn't as great of a leap as, say, moving to Asia or somewhere in Africa. The differences are more subtle. Germany is much more densely populated than the US, fitting about 83 million people into a space about the size of Montana. So you could say that efficiency is pretty big here. The houses are smaller, the cars are smaller. Using public transportation and reducing your CO2 output are considered highly virtuous. And there are no free refills. Living here seemed constricting and stingy sometimes, but now when I go back to the States, I find myself wondering things like, why is everything here so huge? The cars, the houses, the malls, and why do I need a car just to cross the street? In Germany, things are more regulated and controlled. Everything is insured and safe. All of which can be good, and that the standard of living for many people is very high. But I do often miss the vastness and unpredictability, the generosity and the independent spirit that shape life in America. I am raising my children bilingually, which means I speak English to them and wish they would speak English with me. But they don't. Which is understandable, as all of our friends are German. The kids go to a German school and preschool, and we are part of a German church. They are surrounded by German books, films, songs, games, food, and of course they will be rooting for Germany in the coming World Cup for soccer this summer in Brazil. Which leaves me the task of deciding what part of my American background and culture do I want them to understand and accept. I've discovered it isn't easy explaining why a random Thursday in November is special, why we should eat turkey then, or why St. Nicholas comes on December 6th, bringing toys and treats, and then changes his name to Santa Claus and comes again on the 24th. I want my children to understand the American history of settlers and immigrants and the Native American tribes, but will they ever get it? I don't know. I want them to be able to throw and catch a football, and to be able to hit a baseball. Not that I was rarely ever into these sports, but somehow they are a part of me. It could very well be that my kids never learn these things, and I will just have to let that go. Letting go of a lot of cultural ties has also shaped my faith. Since coming to Germany, I've been surrounded by a network of Christian friends in Munich and in Bielefeld, where I now live. And I was surprised at how much at home I felt in the Christian community here, in the Christian culture here. But there are differences. And over the years, these differences have brought me to question aspects of my faith, to ask myself, what is real? What is essential to my life as a Christian? And what is just an expression of my culture? It's a hard process, this sorting out, this pruning. But it has left me with a faith that has a lot more to do with love, grace, and healthy freedom than the overachieving, rigid, and judging mindset I had 12 years ago. A couple of years ago, I got a survey from Wheaton asking alumni about their lives after Wheaton. There were questions about things like further study and career experience, and I didn't have that much to say there. Then one of the questions was something like, have you ever served in Christian ministry abroad? If so, where and for how long? And I thought, well, I did youth groups for several years. I lead a play group for moms and toddlers now at my church. I play piano sometimes in the worship band at church, and I talk to my friends and my neighbors sometimes about faith and God. And, well, I do it all in a foreign country, so, hey, I'm a missionary. At first it made me feel proud, finding a gold star on my lapel. I thought, I may spend my days and weeks carting kids and groceries around, but I can write on my resume, missionary to Germany, 2002 to the present. But really, there should be no difference in status between a person who goes to a foreign country with the purpose of sharing their faith and a person who lives their faith, sharing the light of their lives with the people around them, wherever they might be. I find it amazing, as well as a bit scary, that the choice made back in 1999 to take German as an elective could have such a big impact on where I am today, which makes me wonder, what other little decisions have I made in the last years that could affect my future even more? Learning a language, opening yourself to see through a new set of eyes is exciting and enriching, and it changes you. You realize the world is bigger and more beautiful than you once thought, and the God you serve is even greater and more gracious than you can imagine. Das war's und vielen Dank.